All right, everybody, it's 11:30. Good morning. Going to ask all of our students to fill in the seats here. All of our students, if you're not currently a host, come on and fill in these seats, and then we'll go according to our plan. We're going to officially get started. It is 11:30. Where is our mic?
I'm working on this. Yeah, but your Chris is back up. That's what Chris said.
All right. We can get some volume in that mic. How's everybody today?
Chris said yours is back up.
All right, I'm going to ask if they can pass the start, turn the music down just a little bit. I don't mind it in the background a little bit. I feel a little. This is our lunchtime with everyone. How's everyone doing today? All right, Nevada Health students, can we fill in this back row here, and then we'll get started. We are a part of a live broadcast. How many of you know that you will be a part of a studio audience? You guys know that? Because I want to make sure. Live as in streaming throughout the world. Everybody's good with that? There'll be individuals that will be coming in, that will be filling in the seats as well, that are from throughout the states. And we're going to officially turn this program over to our students. But we wanted to just give you a little information about why you're here, what this program is. We're going to tell you why even you're being hosted by our students. And we'll get this party started. This is your lunch break. How many are here from local? How many are here from local? All right. How many are here from out of town? And I already know at least one are. Wonderful. And then we have some students that are actually here from Kentucky and from Michigan. And as they're coming off, I'm trying to just give some words here as we have folks that are being registered. I can see out my rear eye here. We want to just start off with some housekeeping rules. If you have to use the restroom during the live stream, you can just go out this door here to our left. The men and women's restroom are two out the door to the left. You guys can just fill in the seats here. Any empty seats? Yes. Restrooms to the left. You already know where the elevators are. We will be serving lunch, so we want to thank you for spending your lunchtime with us. And Nevada Help Desk, you'll see students that are going to be serving you today. These students, I want to just let you know, are all certified in one area or another in in-demand technology certification. So can we give them a hand? They're going to be serving you all today. Raise your hand, Garrett and Patricia, raise your hand. Garrett is going to be your host. I'll be introducing him. Patricia, raise your hand. She'll be hosting the Jeopardy game today. You have Daniel, Sage in the back. Raise your hand, guys. They're all certified in Department of Defense controlled unclassified information. They're not your subject matter experts, though. You have some subject matter experts that are in the house. They're your up and coming. So they're serving today as we prepare and they prepare to listen to these awesome guests that we have today. So I wanted to just kind of open it up a little bit, go over some housekeeping rules, and let you know where the restrooms are, where the elevator are. And then we're playing music because I told them we want to make sure we see at least 10 teeth from everybody. And we don't want to scare the folks out the room. And hopefully what we call Indios, hopefully is contagious to you all. It is a safe environment, even though we're live video streaming, and hopefully our friendly atmosphere will just excite this room. We've already started the live broadcast. We want to say welcome. I see that energy back there. Can we all wave the Cap? Cap is so awesome. She's been supporting this effort today, and she has been, this food that you have today has been graciously picked that up for us. It has been, we call it a tech mama, has been with our students this week. And also Tommy, raise your hand. We have one of our partners and sponsor, Tommy of Chapman, Ram, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler. I know I'm gonna mess it up, but all those trucks, he is here as well and usually support everything that we do. So without further ado, are you all ready for us to turn it over to the students? Because in the next hour or so, you all will be in the well-capable hands of our Nevada Help Desk students. There's some phenomenal subject matter experts that you'll be hearing after this Jeopardy game. Y'all ready? Okay, can we give an applause for Garrett Hughes? Testing. This is the mic I should have had. All right, now it's a fire.
this one.
Thank you, Coach D. Good morning, everyone. That wasn't good. Good morning, everyone. Come on. Good morning. Good morning. Like Coach D said, my name is Garrett Hughes. I will be your guys' host today. Dang, I don't even need this mic. You know what I'm saying? We're glad to have you guys. A little bit about myself. I'm the one from Michigan. Played ball out there for a little bit. Came back going to UNLV. Oh, there we go. And I have my credentials in coding in Minecraft with Python and JavaScript, all through Nevada Help Desk. We have our interns in the back. Every single one of us, we have most of us, but we will all have it by Friday because that's our graduation. We all are working on our pre-security as well as our DoD, the Department of Defense. If anybody doesn't know what that means. We worked on that, our CUI, which is controlled unclassified information. Most of us have finished that. We've done that. Just a quick shout out to our event coordinators. Without them, we wouldn't be having this event back there. They're out there actually doing registration. Micaiah and Grace, I know they can hear me. We love them. Also, a special shout out to our techies. Our photographer, Luke, right there in the back. You guys can see him. Everyone who's working in the back, we want to thank them. We also want to shout out to Caesars executive. They've supported us so much. We actually went to Caesars about a week ago and got to pick their brains and whatnot, and also paid for the good food we about to have. So we're glad to be there. Most of our events we've been doing, we went to Senior Center. We went out there to share our information, our knowledge with them, because I want to say roughly 70% of victims are ages of 50, 60 plus. And so we went out there, shared our knowledge, played a little Jeopardy, same Jeopardy we're gonna have here. A little fighting, just, because last year we did money, this year we didn't do money because we knew how that went. And so we're doing all of that. Our internship has been great this year. We've been working so hard. Without Coach D, I don't think any of this would be possible. Tech Queen, Mr. Williams, if you guys don't know who that is, Wendell P. Williams, who for the 44th year now has been the founder of our MLK parade. So he has done that. He's been mentors from Coach D to the president of the Raiders Club, Sarah Morgan. And so we're glad to have that. And Coach D obviously works with the government. She's worked so hard for us to have this internship in and out, always with meetings with White House. In fact, tomorrow we're going to Arizona to meet with White House officials. We are leaving at 4:30 in the morning. Pray for us, please, because I haven't woken up that early since playing football in the summer. So, but without further ado, we will be hitting this Jeopardy. Why are we playing Jeopardy? I'm sure you guys are wondering, because we're supposed to be having a cybersecurity. But this Jeopardy is just to pick your brain, a little icebreaker, just to figure out, what do you know about cybersecurity? How much do you know? And do you know all the benefits, the risks? So just a little icebreaker, get everybody loose a little bit, just release all the tension, just to, have a fun, exciting, but also informational event we're about to have. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce your host for Jeopardy, Patricia Parker. Give her a rate. And so I'm sure you guys all know how to play Jeopardy. If not, go home, watch some TV. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a couple of teams. I'd say 6 teams. I'll break them up this table, back there. I'll split it up. One question, we're gonna go through each row. Just about 10 minutes, not every single question. But we'll go through that, and then I will give the mic over to Patricia as she works on her questions.
All right. It's okay.
Good.
Get it
Good.
from Garrett.
That's good.
Use Garrett's mic.
3, 4. Now I'm gonna split it right here. Team 5, Team 6. All right. Yep. Team 5.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So I'm your host for Jeopardy, and so here are the categories that we are going to have for our Jeopardy game.
And as you start, tell them what you're certified in, Patricia.
I am certified in Tri-Hackney and DoD CUI, which is the Department of Defense, classified and unclassified information certificates. I am going to the event tomorrow, and I am actually one of the other event coordinators that Garrett did not actually say, which was annoying. So I actually planned a lot of events. This one was between me, Micaiah, and Grace. Grace has just come in, so say hi, Grace.
Hi, Grace.
That's Grace. So she has helped on this event, and if you saw where you registered for this event in the Eventbrite, she did all that, so that's on her, and she did a very good job. Sorry, I went by for a minute there.
Today's categories. You can
Okay,
on the
today's categories are intro to cybersecurity. Are we doing the same one as last time?
Cyber threats.
Cyber threats,
Whatever you want to do, it's on you.
cyber ethics, online safety, and how computers work, and computer components.
All right.
So anyone want to say?
Cyber ethics for 100.
Cyber ethics for 100.
Say it again.
Cyber ethics 100. This list was created in 1992 by the Computer Ethics Institute to guide responsible behavior online.
Aren't you supposed to be the CMC? No clue. Anybody else? Anybody else? No?
Like to answer?
No? Anyone else want to answer? No? All right, yeah, this will show the answer.
Show the answer. What is spyware?
Spyware 1992. All right, on to the next question.
Okay. So, next question. Come home.
Was it, you know what? Was it missed?
Okay, next.
Yeah, was it missed?
What's spyware?
It's spyware.
Spyware.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay.
We're gonna stop this music in the background driving us crazy.
Usually it drives you crazy if you don't pay attention. Or you have it in the background. You get that in the background and you're like, where the frick is this coming from? Which I have done multiple times before.
So then we'll keep on going with team 2. As team 2, we will take the next one.
These two guys?
Let's go cyber threats for 300.
Cyber threats, 300. A seemingly legitimate program with hidden malicious function. Okay, so they get an answer first.
Malware.
He says malware. Is that the correct answer?
So what is, yeah, what is it now? I'm sorry. That's right.
What is malware?
You wanna see the answer?
Yes. 100%.
Oh.
Which is malware. Which is
Okay.
It's gonna mess up.
Team three, you guys want to
Hey.
pick one? Online safety for
Online safety person. Theft. Thieves that sift through garbage to find and access personal information. Does the team know? What are hackers? What are hackers?
our hackers. Alrighty, team four, you guys, let's go ahead.
Okay. Pick up.
The non-computer works 500.
Not, so computer works 500?
How
How computers work 500?
They won.
Go! The user interface of a computer.
You should know this
Easy.
computer?
What? GUI?
What is?
Question.
GUI? What is an operating system?
Operating system. I mean, user
It's
interface.
a user interface.
Very specific to it, like I said. It might have been, for example.
You get a car, you get a car, you get a car.
So we got team five, I'm gonna have Mr. Chapman. Mr. Chapman.
Cyber threats for.
Cyber threats 400.
You're loud enough.
A compromised computer under the control of an attacker.
What is a bot?
What is the bot?
A bot.
A bot. What is a zombie or bot? You have got it.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Team five, you guys get to go again. You guys answered correctly.
You're live.
If you have answered correctly, pick one.
I have no idea. What team was that?
Computer components 500.
Computer component 500. It manages all the components in a computer simultaneously.
CPU.
What is a CPU?
What is a CPU? That is the correct answer. 2 in a row.
Fire.
Okay.
I mean, team five.
Online safety 500.
Online safety 500.
Anything we do it from this one. Oh, you can plug it on here? Oh, yeah.
Online
Okay.
safety and pop-up blockers are
Yeah,
examples
show
of
it, show
this.
it. Long as it on. Go ahead, show it. You show it, show it. Show it to it. It's touchscreen, so it's touchscreen.
You want to press this for the timer, and it'll show you the answer.
What is an extension?
Where's the music?
I'm gonna show the answer right there.
Don't show it yet.
Yeah.
Don't show the answer yet.
No. Anyone
Show them how
else?
to do,
So you can press these for the music,
Yeah.
right? And then you can
because I want
balance.
music playing.
Anyone else?
The theme music.
Anyone else?
You want me to read the question again?
How does he play the theme music?
I just-
Yeah,
knows,
it's right
he
here.
knows.
So he'll just play it when we're on the.
When it's ready. Oh, okay. I thought you meant that.
Nobody else has an answer? Okay. What are browser tools? Okay.
I'm trying to wake us up. There we go.
Keep it away.
Okay. Pick another one. No one got it.
When I pick one, just press silent.
Pick another one. No one got
I can't hear anything else now because the music's playing.
it. Okay, pick one.
Let's do Cyber Threat 500.
Cyber threats, 500. Experts who evaluate cybersecurity threats, risks, and problems to guide organizations in providing protection solutions.
Me?
Yes.
What is a white hat hacker?
What is a white hat hacker? No.
What is IT?
No.
You
What are security
You got it
consultants? Is the answer, because he apparently accidentally went to the next slide.
No,
So
you got it wrong, so I thought.
let's go. Pick another one. Team one, I guess.
Okay, good deal. We're gonna go with Cyber Threats 500.
We already did that one.
Oh, that was up there.
Wait.
Malware that collects your information without your knowledge or consent. Okay, anyone else know the answer? Guy in the back, for team 5.
What is spyware?
What is spyware? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Sage, you have to press the button for the music.
I just, it's hard to hear them say what they.
Yeah,
what
pick
the
Okay.
thing.
First column for 500. I think it was
Intro to cybersecurity for 500, only once. Good?
Good. Well,
Let me see.
I have it on here. All I do is.
Okay, so waiting on that.
The live broadcast just sit here, because that's the one.
What's your favorite color?
Question is idea career path for problem
Why is it
solvers.
updating up here?
What?
Say it again.
Ideal.
Ideal career path for problem solvers.
Yeah.
Would that be progress?
Is the answer programmers? No. Okay, anyone else got an answer?
What slide was that?
Yes? IT?
I'm saying you were inferring.
Wrong.
No.
Oh,
Okay,
closer though.
It might say the answer.
closer though. Hold on, at least.
What does it say, check power? What does that say?
It says select device power.
Okay, where's my power?
Anyone else?
Yeah, that's the answer.
No one else.
Nope.
The answer was what is security architect? That was.
Security architect.
So whoever said IT, you were closer, just not close enough. Close to those are.
Okay,
Our time is up for deputy. Our time is up.
that was the last question, so.
All right, so we actually have prizes for
Team
everyone.
5 won, so they get.
Team 5 get the bragging rights. Team 5 get the bragging rights. Let's give it up for Garrett and Patricia, our hosts. Let me show you these gifts here. We're not gonna pass them out yet, but as you leave, you all get a gift. They are carefully packaged by our students, and guess what? They're all technology gifts that you can use. You know, sometimes you go to events, you get a little gift, you're like, I can't even use this. What do I do with this? We guarantee you, you can use these gifts. So as you exit, we will give everyone a gift. Now it's time for our food. It's lunchtime. So is it ready for lunch here? We're gonna have about, I'll say a 20-minute intermission networking lunchtime, and then the next voices you will hear will be that of our panelists after they are introduced. So we're gonna play a little music, get a little networking going, and we're gonna get into hearing from our subject matter experts. Give yourselves a hand for participating in our live studio audience. For our live audience, we're gonna take a break, 20 minutes for our live audience, and we'll be back. Thank you, guys. You can network fellowship. Thank you.
We ready? Where's Luke? I'm not introducing. I'm bringing Gary. Right. You can. Right. You can you guys fill in the seats? We about to go on the camera. Okay. That music make you want to go to sleep. We lost a whole row of people or what? Let's fill in that section. Let's fill in that.
So you're waiting for that one to connect? Yeah.
And strategic advisor. Yes, he gonna call himself that. That's why I corrected it. That's with the wait, we live broadcast, but he goes,
What the heck?
whatever comes to you. Okay. Whatever. Don't have window calling. No, we done. After this, gonna take us home. She about to bring you home. Over here today, yeah. We want to be out of here by 1:30.
Hi, good. How are you?
You as well. Okay, we got to learn something. But you about to learn something. I'm learning already. I know the answers. I'm gonna go back. Yeah.
Fine. I'm busy right now.
I need you to come on. I don't need that. Dewana, I need you to come on. Okay. Come on. Okay.
You can start whenever. Mine's just not working yet.
Stop the music. Oh, she's taking. Let's stop the music. Okay. Get the mic on. Daddy, or who's doing the mic? Give her a mic that way.
Mic is up. There you go. They're good.
Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. Woo! Hello. We are back. We are back, and we are very energetic because we are here about technology. You have to get excited about technology. Woo! How many people in this room are excited about technology? Woo! My name is Capucine Holmes. I am a strategic operations advisor for the Nevada Help Desk. And I want to give a round of applause to Dr. Dewana Malone, the tech queen. You know, when I look out in this room, I see the beauty, I see the history, I see the commitment of community, I see history and legacy. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here today, being a forefront of technology for Nevada. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our MC, who has been giving us this day, Garrett. Garrett is our MC, and let's give Garrett a hand. Woo!
Thank you, Cap. Alrighty, as we continue our healthcare slash entertainment event. I'm gonna ask our four panelists. Our panelists, we're gonna have just a few questions, just some insight, wisdom, and just knowledge from you guys. I want to announce them as we continue to go up and as we continue our special event. First up, Joe Henderson. Give a right hand.
Switch to this one.
Yes. And then next up, we have Reggie Richardson. Next up, we have Eric Power, all the way from Minnesota. And then next up, we have Gavin Walker. And these four amazing gentlemen we have for us today, every single one of them, great knowledge, super bright in the aspects. Most of them, actually every single one of them have more than one skill. It doesn't, they taught us more than anything to always have more than one skill. They're not just cybersecurity, there's cybersecurity AI, what else? Software engineering the list goes on. Like the sky is like the limit for them. And so they've taught us that more than well during our internship, the time that we have for them. And so as we continue on, Gavin Walker, he owns an independent life insurance general agency owner and has been in the industry for over 25 years. Licensed in all 50 states, accredited insurance designations, and has a business degree in business management. As we move on to Reggie Richardson, is the owner of cybersecurity company Sapphire Blue. He provides system engineering integration solutions to rapidly deploy advanced technologies into the Department of Defense, as we talked about earlier, in areas of influence and solve complex challenges. As we go on to Eric Power is the Chief Growth Officer of Beryllium InfoSec. Beryllium has years of experience helping the Department of Defense contractors meet DFAR's requirements and regulations, as well as the emerging CMC, also known as Cybersecurity Mature Model certification with affordable, practical, and secure compliance programs. Joseph, in 2010, Joseph founded the ECF Data after a decade of leading and designing unified messaging communication projects for future Fortune 500 companies across various industries such as healthcare, media, entertainment, and technology. Some of his clients, notable clients are AT&T, Fox, Disney, DirecTV, you name it. You got it. So as we continue, I just have a couple of questions for you guys. We're gonna put you on the spot, so be ready for it. You guys have the spotlight. Let's go. I'm gonna ask Joe Henderson first. So Joe, we know about Microsoft Government Community Cloud, as well as there's this new idea of healthcare community cloud, which is also HCC. Can you expand on this idea and how it goes?
Availability is the thing, right? It's already out there. So the health community cloud is a collection of applications and services provided by Microsoft, specifically for the healthcare industry.
That did not work.
And so it allows you from different parts of the healthcare, whether you are a care provider, etc., gives you the tools to effectively secure and run a healthcare organization. So I know this is called the Cybersecurity Symposium, and that's true the buzzword, the keyword around
It's not working.
technology.
Chargers.
However,
Chargeable sports.
our customer journey and I was using the example of people's file. It's really cybersecurity is an aspect of it, it's really married to cyber compliance. And those who create complete solutions
Just a little bit.
to secure and provide regulatory initiatives for an organization. Cybersecurity, secure assets, cyber compliance is providing the regulatory bodies to govern those assets. Particularly in the healthcare industry, heavily is a big one. So you got to be secure firewall through identity management, but then you got to have the regulation compliance. Regulations will get you in trouble in the federal government and with other industries that are out there. And so the Microsoft 3D Cloud helps you from a compliance standpoint as well as from a security standpoint, marrying cyber compliance with cybersecurity.
Got it. Appreciate that. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. For Captain Walker, what is the necessity for the industry, whether it's healthcare or energy, to be cybersecurity compliant?
Yep, there goes. But it's still.
Let's get the rules. Let me think of a really profound answer. I might ask some of my other panel partners to chime in, but first, as far as I think it would be appropriate to set my background, which is very much risk management and in business operations. And I've ran companies for over 25 years now. And I think when it comes to risk management and cybersecurity, we can see it every day. Every time we turn on the news, every time we try to catch an air flight, Eric here next to me can attest to trying to get here to the challenge of cybersecurity. And so this isn't a topic that's going away, and to protect businesses, not only to be compliant, but my background as a risk manager is a lot of this is to do things proactively. A lot of times, the cybersecurity previously and historic has always been cleaning up after something's already too late. And I think the pivotal direction we're going is how to be as proactive, to be a little bit more alert, a little bit more educated, and proactively trying to do everything we can to prevent a cyber breach. Because I can tell you from helping and consulting with clients, after the problem occurs, and we can call it as it's too late, there's a lot of negative consequences that occur after it's too late. And I can go through case studies, and we can look at real life scenarios, whether it's United Healthcare having a cyber breach triggered some very problematic things in the healthcare space, whether it's MGM Grand, whether it's even here locally, our own school district experiencing cyber breaches and the costs associated with that. So I think the biggest walk away that I want to be a resource for is to approach this as a risk manager. And that's what insurance is. And if you heard in my background, insurance is literally just separating and putting protocols together to diversify risk. And I want to be a resource and an industry leader in risk management regarding cybersecurity.
All righty. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you. All righty. Eric Power, with your experience with cybersecurity consulting, what examples can you give of what companies should be doing and should not be doing concerning their cybersecurity?
Similar to Gavin, from my background, we have had an organization called Red Team for our pen tests. Everybody wants to go to school to be the best hacker from the exploit side, all the way down to program side, training side, all the way down to software.
And I think the first thing that jumped off the page was the question. Is don't start with technology. A lot of people spend their entire budget on buying the next blinky box that's promising to make their life or their company more secure. And most of the companies that deploy those technologies that have the bright, flashy headlines most of the companies that invest in them don't even quite want to use them because it's not yet in their cultural DNA. So we've seen whether it's a multi-billion-dollar company all the way down to supply chain, weapon manufacturer, into aerospace, kind of regardless of vertical.
So when they stop talking,
Training,
go to here.
and it's not just
I mean the third.
right? So a lot of folks start with this in
So go
IT.
from here.
Let's go buy the bulky box that makes it go away. But the program itself, to Gavin's point on, and when it's too late, what are we doing?
Move this one.
So
Our best success that we've seen these, and if you were, I know it was mentioned down here earlier, it's really a program at the end of the day. It's a program that can be measured, and that's why when we think in terms of compliance, if you are in HIPAA, if you have HIPAA data that you need to worry about, or any other regulatory information, that understand what type of data that you're working on, your clients, there should be asking if they're not already, what type of data are you ingesting? What are you doing with my data? We have a right as consumers to ask, what are you doing with our data? Like my children downloading apps that are free, they're not free. What are you doing with my children's data? We should be doing the same thing as our companies. Understand what we're legally responsible for, and then making sure our employees start with, the fundamentals for us is train our people, test our people, buy the right technology, and have the right people that can manage those tools. That's typically kind of the standard.
Thank you. This one's for Reggie. We've heard of this new rule, including CMMC. Can you elaborate a little bit on this new rule that is being imposed in a couple of months regarding being cybersecurity compliant?
Sure. It's been a long, complex path to get to where we are. It goes back a very long time. But anyway, the federal government has a lot of third-party exposure. And they had to deal with this third-party exposure. So I think one of the first things they did is, okay, you guys are going out showing you know how to do it, secure your system. Everybody says they did it when they checked. 500 companies, all 500 failed. So the government says, okay, we need to have something that's stronger. So they came up with something that's compliance-based. And they had created a model. And it's called the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification. It's broken up into 3 areas, 3 levels. And depending on the amount of information or what type of information you carry, will have more stringent controls for cybersecurity. Then they said, okay, how do we enforce this? Well, and if you want to do business with the federal government, you must have a level of cybersecurity compliance. It's like New York just imported that. You're going to see that more and more. And so they attach to contracts. So in order to get a contract, you have to meet this. So that puts the burden out on companies. So now everyone is rapidly trying to get ready for this thing. And in terms of timetables, I've been attached to this since 2010. The timetable for completion is sometime in 2025 is the Congress wrap. But right now, the latest we got is one part of it as early as November. And the next part of it, no later than second quarter next year, which is like March. So what's the impact of this? This is all the federal government. You guys heard of CMMC, that's just for the DOD. There's an organization called the Information Oversight Office. They oversee all of federal government, all 438 offices and sub-offices. This applies to all federal government, but what they said was, allow DOD to first go through and do it first because they have the biggest capacity to do it. Allow them to do it. So once DOD is done, which is going to be soon, the other offices can either copy and paste or just adjust it and make their programs like that. So this is a huge opportunity. So in DOD, just to give you scale, 325,000 contractors support DOD. Remember, that's just one office. That's just one office. All the federal government. So this is why it's so huge. This is why I'm partnering with Nevada Help Desk, because the demand, we need people. And so this is where this is coming from. This is the whole impetus behind everything you see all of us doing here, because it's a great demand for people who are trained, because no one knows how to do this. This is brand new. So we need all this subject matter experts up here to help in security, to help us with the compliance part. And so our job at Sapphire Blue is we are called a candidate third-party audit organization. And we're going to be cleared by the government after we pass our assessment. And then we'll be authorized to be the clearinghouse for these contractors to go through and be cleared. If they clear our process, then they be cleared and certified at particular levels to go ahead and continue the fixed contract. If they don't, be in jeopardy of either losing current contracts or losing opportunities for them. So it's a huge incentive to get done. So this is what we are focusing on. This is why, well, some of the students out, they know me, I'm showing them what's going on. This is a $1 trillion. It's not just the US, it's our partners. I think I counted 80 countries were signing up to this. So this is huge, huge. This is huge. This is why we're working real hard on this. So yeah, but that's pretty much the nature of it.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you. Next one is for Joseph Anderson. We've seen the growth in your company, ECF Data LLC. We've seen the president, CEO. We've seen the growth and the expansion of your company. What efforts and kind of processes, systems you kind of went through to help your company grow, which can ultimately lead to inspiring other companies or other entrepreneurs that might want to grow in the same aspect of field you are in?
In terms of growth, I tell young folks like yourself to kind of go through these programs. A couple of things have to happen. In order to grow your company, you as the leader have to grow, you have to change. And that was probably the hardest transition for me, going from I work on a mom and pop's organization where we had limited resources, limited employees, to then expand into 30, 40, 50 folks that we were supporting. And so the big challenge to that was changing myself, right? And going through that process of change. Then I'm a pretty lucky guy. Okay, so I started off as unified communications, exchange operations, but those are all large-scale on-premise systems. And then decided to pivot towards the end of 2018, 2019, because the writing was on the wall that was going to be a cloud-enabled, cloud-first IT. Right? Everybody was moving to the cloud. That was all the buzzword. Microsoft made it really clear to its partners. So then I pivoted and brought up 3 towers from Microsoft supporting their cloud solution. One being Modern Work, which everybody knows, which is Teams, OneDrive, etc., SharePoint. And then so we had core competencies in deploying voice organizations as well as deploying email at a large scale. When I say large scale, 20,000 users or better. And then so we pivoted to that. And then they also have Azure, we focused on Azure infrastructure for a while. Now we do a lot of Azure AI services, models, etc. And then with business applications, ERP, Power Platform, Business Central, etc. Due to that pivot in 2018, late 2019, we were gearing up, starting to, luckily, I have always keep a large customer, always entrepreneur, young entrepreneurs, try to align yourself to a large company, because in tough times, the large company will see you through it with a small organization. It just so happens, we all know what happened in 2020, so I was well positioned at that time in a cloud-first organization to then take organizations that can no longer work on site and move all their voice communications to the cloud in short periods of time, as well as all their data to the cloud. So that is fuel the growth over the next 4 years. So just feel lucky. Again, didn't know how to look at myself in the mirror and make the changes that need to be made.
Got it. Eric, can AI be an asset or a liability to our cybersecurity programs?
Oh, that's a good one. I was supposed to be out in DC presenting on this topic next week. I'll always answer that with both. That's the safe answer, but it just comes down to measurement. Knowing the tools and the power that's behind it and the users that are capable to do things that have never been able to be done before. The example I'll use, you mentioned automation. AI, I think where it's at right now from tool sets are who can make the most money the fastest. And where's that in? A lot of it's going to be in the software development. A lot of it's going to be into even our migration. We're seeing a lot of what would have otherwise taken, we're talking time, right? We're talking human time to do things that I've seen teams do over the last few months. I walked out of a room being like, that would have taken our team 3 months. We got it done in 3 days. And in that, just like anything else, I don't care if you're training in athletics or you're starting a business, if you cut corners, you're not going to see the full substance of the benefit. So if we don't have, I'm trying to keep this positive. If we do it recklessly, we're going to be paying for it later. We're going to see the instant rewards, but who's going to be owning that later? So I think there are a lot of responsible folks in industries to be the ones who don't have that regulation behind them. And you mentioned before with CNMC, companies were allowed to do the right thing for 5, 6, 7 years, and they inevitably, through negligence or intention, failed. They were not able to live up to that. So I do believe that it should be regulated, and it's going to have to be done at the tool level. And then the last piece of that would be the people that are being trained into specifically from software and code development. I think the thing that we're going to see help regulate this is, and this is soon to be coming, and I was going to talk to you about that today, is that secure software development framework is going to ultimately also be deployed, something if your students especially start looking into it. I think it's going to go very hand in hand with seeing the measurement of operations from start to finish and delivery. That'll be done more so on the software side. And so if you are providing a software, whether specifically to the government, but you can think commercially, you will be ultimately responsible at the code level as the originator, where that is almost a brand new concept. Right now it's going down to the user, and more responsibility is going to be pushed back onto the actual software developers themselves. It hasn't really made a lot of headlines yet, because it's not the fun DoD stuff that the intention that to get to. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to make a good living if you can figure out how to manage this software development framework. So, just a teaser, people are starting to get it out there. This time next year, we'll be talking very similar to CMMC or the SSEF as we are CMMC. I think they're going to be parallel. Just doesn't make sense.
Thank you. For Reggie and next up, what processes or systems, I won't say policies, because there's like 300 or something, and we'd be here for 2 years and explain that. So what, in a general idea, what processes are in place for monitoring and detecting potential security breaches?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll answer it in 3 parts. So cybersecurity depends on 3 things. It's built on 3 pillars, which is people, policies, and technology. So that's what you have to look at. So on technology, I partner with these guys, right? And put it in the cloud and use all the tools, the online tools such as your security incident event managers, right? Your VPN, your firewalls, your SOAR, security or orchestrated automated response. These are AI-driven tools that you can use for the technical aspect. But there's also people, and about 70% of all your problems is people. So the process we use is the Inside Threat program that we actually, our security team, monitor certain behavioral aspects of the human themselves, because that's where your exposure is. And the last part we do is in terms of our policies, because we're so regulatory oriented, we got policies we believe. I got more policies than I can think of, right? So we have to implement and then monitor, and then on an annual basis, review our policies to make sure this is occurring. So those are the processes we put in place. We break it out in 3 areas: people, policies, and technology. That's how we look at it.
about it. And yeah, to that point, you made a really good point with, talking about policies where there's too many, can you count to make sure that current review every year, because technology is getting more and more advanced every day. Hackers are getting more and more advanced every day. And so those policies must be almost near perfect, because nothing really is perfect. Not even humans, not technology. Everything has its imperfections, but getting here close to perfect. But as we're going for our last question, before I open it up to the audience, Gavin, what programs do you know that are out there that are beneficial to healthcare industries as far as cost?
So regarding cybersecurity, the reason I am really excited, and I personally partnered with Nevada Help Desk and also US Help Desk, is a lot of these preventative measures starts with education. And there are certifications, there are education that is imperative for a company to have not only their management core, as Joseph had discussed, of decision makers, CEOs being intelligent, but also having internal trained individuals within our organization, and how that benefits, once again, as far as risk management, is education then allows you to be aware, which allows you to know how to solve problems. And inevitably, we're trying amongst all of us within the industry to prevent the inevitable or the worst case scenario of something bad happening in the form of a data breach or having your information that then has to go public and then becomes publicity or a PR nightmare to try to resolve as far as the brand of your organization. And so I know for the sake of time, we were, even before our meeting started today, discussing risk, discussing insurance. Insurance is probably, between taxes, insurance, and financing, a big portion of what a business owner has to pay for. And that's all forms of insurance: business insurance, workers' comp, healthcare benefits, you name it, it has some form of insurance. In fact, my mission statement, when I had my kind of direct retail practice, was, you're paying someone, you might as well pay me. That was the statement I always came, because insurance is such a pivotal part. Cyber insurance, is the reason I'm bringing this up, is the next wave, and Reggie has been a client of mine for over 15 years. And when we started doing business together, cyber insurance was just a box you checked, and it was included into your business insurance. It was just something included automatically. Now, that same, in essence, it was near nothing, if not free, is upwards of sometimes thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars for cyber protection. And what's changed in 15 years is risk and exposure. And companies now have to pay claims when a bad day happens, when there's a breach, and that claim could equal hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to fix. The piece of what I want everyone in this room to walk away from is, this is intelligent to, or important to relate to education. That's why you're here, is to learn something, hopefully. But what's happening within the industry now is cyber insurance is false security. And I'm here to tell you that it's not gonna work the way people think when it comes to their business. Cyber insurance helps fix any type of technical repair to get back to where you were previously. The piece of this that's nobody really talking about, Reggie and I touched on it prior to this meeting, is is the damage of a breach when it comes to victims. And what I mean by that is if you're in the healthcare field, or if you're in the service industry, or if you're in Department of Defense, and you're housing people's data, you now have a fiduciary responsibility to protect that data. And as a fiduciary, which is my background, as being in finance and having people's information, if there is a cyber breach, those victims can immediately, and it only takes 40 victims, you can Google it, but there's 40 victims that will trigger a class action lawsuit. Class action lawsuits are basically when a pool of people get together, they hire law firms, and they try to sue who's responsible. And who is responsible? Is it the business owner? Is it the IT consulting firm that business owner is paying? Is it the software company that business owner is paying on a monthly basis? Is it Microsoft that they're using? Who is liable? And I can tell you the answer because I deal with attorneys pretty much daily. Everyone will be sued in a class action lawsuit. It's the jury, it's the judge, it's the effect that determines who's responsible and who's liable. And all of this stems in liability. That's what insurance is who's at fault. And class action lawsuits are just gonna be the beginning. And I have case studies, I have data information, I track it constantly. Larry knows this firsthand, we've had this conversation constantly, but in the last 24 months, there was 942 hospitals that have had a cyber breach. I'll repeat that one more time. 942 hospitals have had a cyber breach in the last 24 months.
Wow.
That means last month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And why that's important is that these victims now can go and sue that hospital for their data being stolen. And that will basically be the next wave of risk management. And how we prevent that is by doing protocols and having policies and having procedures that will try to reduce, because the next thing I'll do before we turn it over to you guys as an audience, class action lawsuits are not covered by insurance. I will repeat that. If you are a business owner and you receive a very unfavorable letter in the mail, which basically is a court order or saying that you're being sued, that lawsuit is not insured and protected by any form of insurance. It is not protected by your business insurance. It's not protected by your professional liability insurance. It's not protected by any form of insurance other than the business is then financially responsible. And the solution is they either pay if they're found at fault, if they find that they're, negligent and they did something wrong, the judge will basically determine and force them to pay that, or that now company will have to be insolvent or go into bankruptcy. And we are not here to scare, but I can tell you that I've seen this in the malpractice insurance, I've seen this with the medical industry, and I'm beginning to see it again in the cybersecurity industry. And so we, as a panel, as an industry experts, want to help businesses provide solutions. So.
Thank you. Hey man, I had 4 questions. I only picked 2 because he told me to. But he answered all 4. But as that comes in the end, I want to allow the audience, if they have any other additional questions for our panel board here, we'll pass the mic on if you don't, because I know some of you guys are loud, but of course.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, panelists. I really appreciate your expertise in sharing. I was on actually the quarterly Department of Business and Industry small business community roundtable earlier this week. And who was featured was the chief technology officer for GOED, Governor's Office of Economic Development. And he was talking about AI and the rollout, so to speak. So I just wanted to give you that context. So I posed the question, or actually the comments, and I'd like for each of you to chime in. So I came across this really interesting insight from the Harvard Business Review of 2023. And Harvard Business Review stated that AI will not replace humans. It is humans that know AI that will replace humans that don't. So what are your comments on that? Thank you, gentlemen.
I'll just start off, and I'm not going to comment to this, but it's very relevant that this question is being asked. Because, similar to, I'll give you a little context to my answer to this. I think I met you, Gavin, 2 months ago about, and the reason why we came to know one another is we're doing a huge webinar series trying to commoditize and give away as much knowledge as possible for our workforce up and makes us as consultants life easier instead of dragging someone up to a knowledge base to then start your work being equal. And in our conversation, I asked him on our webinar, we're going to give something away of value to a very large 5,000 consortium member DoD consortium of technology. And first thing that Gavin mentioned was what's being done here with the academy and the programs and how I've been around the country all over. I have my own nonprofit. I've never seen a program designed to do what this is going to do. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool to me. And I haven't even gotten the tour yet. But because, and the reason why I'm going to circle back, because I'm very, sorry, I'll come back, is that it comes down to training our people, to your point on the tool side. I 100% believe with what you just stated. The moment we got off of our call and we were building, we have a product team building our new product. And I mentioned we have more done in 3 days than would have taken us 3 months. And you talk about reinventing yourself. And I was being the state of reinventing yourself. I got every single person on our team, whether you're a marketing person, whether you're in the strategy side, project management side, our finance people, the people who pay our bills, everyone within our company, paying for them to go through training on how to master some of these AI tools that are out there today. We have a lot of our workforce are, I would say, 50 years and plus. And that doesn't mean anything other than my favorite speech that I listened to, the former CFO, John Hancock. He said, a certain age group is tech dependent. We all know who that is. There's a certain age group that's tech literate, and then there's a certain age group that's tech illiterate. And I don't think that's true. I think that these tools, to your point, if we master those tools, it will be less about the knowledge base. I've got 3 boys going through school right now. And I'm like, just like we've all been through school. As far as people I know, aren't people walking around like an encyclopedia. It's can they master the ability to get the answer. So there are courses out there, trainings out there. My marketing gal who wants to retire, she's 63 years old. I go, do you want to go through this? And she said, sure, I'll do it. But the key is we have to pay for it. And it's not because I don't think she would pay for it, and we have had very open discussions about that, is training in itself to wake up and do something different on your 8-hour days or 10-hour days, and then go home and justify taking additional training. I don't want to do it. But if it's built into that you can master that tool and take that to the next level, I think your statement is 100% correct. And if we don't master those tools on all aspects of business, I don't think there's an aspect of our business operationally, or any business operationally, that wouldn't stand benefit. Those would be the people who are sitting at the top. And we've seen that in marketing first and foremost. But I hope that helps answer, but I'm going to pass this to other guys that can absolutely help after that.
No, he covered it. We as a company, we've been, before it got big, we've done research and development submittals to the government back in 2017 with AI, using it for polymorphic defensive strategies for defense systems. So very familiar with it. Was doing it a long time ago. But as a tool, we hit it on it. It's just these things, They're like a child. They don't know anything until you tell them, right? So you need more people with like architects or people with ideas to tell them to do something that we needed to do. Because they have issues. You know, AI is hallucinate. Yeah. So you deal with stuff like that. So they have the same problems as people, but they just do. I just had a meeting yesterday with a guy, he hadn't seen ChatGPT. He was asking me, he says, well, can you do this? And I just hold him, I just type and show him. Now he's like, oh, wow. So, but what can you do with it? It's just a tool. That's all it is. I liken it way back when it first came out, they said, well, it's going to take over Skynet. It is no different than when we started from the old typewriters, remember those, then the word processors, then the computers. It's just the next step. It's just another tool. So people will always be needed because we have to tell it what we need and what we need to do. So it just enables our life, that's all.
So for me, as I kind of was saying earlier, I've been pretty lucky, and I always align myself to larger corporations. So one of my larger corporations came to me because they wanted to deploy AI into their environment. So one of the selling points of that was kind of touched on by everyone around IP and data. So when ChatGPT was out there, so people were sending company data out to the public internet, it ran against ChatGPT. So we have to secure that data and come up with solutions. And for that organization, we can have about 40 use cases going in that organization around AI. So that caused my organization to have to pivot because it's the AI piece of it, but we have to develop interfaces and applications. Honoring the chair of the Urban Chamber Community Development Corporation, which is the enterprise of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. And so on that side, we do a lot of business initiatives for entrepreneurs. However, on the Community Development Corporation side, I decided to say we need to change that narrative. It's going to take over our jobs, particularly in the community, because that's what you always hear. And to be truthful, it is. And one of the areas that it is around when coming out of the pandemic, a lot of folks, particularly in the fast food industry, was not going back to work. You've seen in Vegas, a lot of restaurants was closing early, shutting down, didn't serve. So in those type of areas, yeah, but that's because folks wasn't showing up to work. However, as part of my initiative as the chair, I've come up with programs specifically to show how you can be productivity from an entrepreneur at every level of your organization. So training from a sales perspective, from the PMO, all the things that was named earlier, and coming up with programs. And then even take another step further, having initiatives for teens, how to make them more productive by preparing them for the workforce. And so those are all initiatives coming through the nonprofit side. And so, yeah, it can, but really we need to change the narrative in the community, which is a hard mind shift and get people away that's gonna take our job. So we have to start training, have to start having these grassroots initiatives to push, to change and shift that narrative in the community, and then folks open for and into entrepreneurs and into job roles.
Alrighty, any other questions? Javier in the back, one of our interns.
Hi. So I guess we were all aware, and a lot of us affected by what happened last week with CrowdStrike. And so my question mostly, I have actually two questions. First and nothing, from 1 to 10, how big do you expect the fallout to be for CrowdStrike? 10, of course, being a complete dissolution of the company, 1 being a slap on the wrist. And second, with that in hindsight, what advice would you give to somebody looking to create a cybersecurity consulting company?
I went first last time.
Oh, wow. Okay, the first part. So there is a process they got to follow. I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at it because I've seen this so much. It's just so routine. But what I'm understanding is they said that it was a software deployed that shouldn't have been. We'll have to see, but anybody's in IT will tell you, one-on-one, you do not, I repeat, you do not deploy untested, unproven software into a deployment or operational network. You just don't do it. It is just standard procedure. And for that to be the excuse, it brings questions. It brings questions to me. In terms of will they survive, they got a lot of lawyers, and they're gonna look at different areas to point to. Will they survive? They will. They will, because they're too big to fail. And that's one of those things, they'll survive. But when I heard it, and I'm hearing all kinds of things. I work a lot with systems and radars, and I know how that stuff works. So some of the things I was hearing, I'm like, I don't know. I'm waiting to see what they come up with, because I've seen AT&T, they said it was something else and it was a cyber. So wait and see, and we'll know.
And I'll piggyback that. And I think I was telling him earlier. So that morning, it was severe. A couple of different things. I had to woke up to that morning to a lot of annoying emails from employees because ADP got shut down. So payroll didn't process that morning. And on the ADP site, it said down for maintenance and didn't have a time when it was gonna come back up. And so that was one. Two, I had a meeting with one of my customers that's in Ireland. They said they couldn't even get flights. They can't even book flights. So to piggyback on Reggie, when you deploy something, it is going to be at a regional level initially. It's not going to be a global level as this was. Will they survive? They probably get brought up in chunks, in my opinion, after all the remediation is done. Because the technology is good, but how they got penetrated or whatever happened and whatever disputes that they're using is the status quo. We'll probably never find out, just like the whole MGM thing, and never find out really what truly happened, right? But I think the technology that they have will be consumed by another organization, and they'll get cut down to smaller chunks.
And I'll just answer the question that you wrapped that up with on starting a consulting company. And it's because it's near and dear. I've been a part of, we have had training organizations to pen testing organizations, physical breach organizations, to technology organizations, to consulting, 853 framework to 80171, RMF, government, non-government, private sector, schools, and you name it. And the reason why I like to start there is the biggest lesson I learned in being in the startup world, because I think we're going to continue to do that probably until my wife tells me to stop starting up all these companies, is be something to somebody, not something to everybody. Because your personnel that you fill in, first of all, and all the students here are going to find out, I continually use this number, and until somebody proves to me otherwise, I'm going to keep using it. There are 2 million openings in this field. We need U.S. students, U.S. people touching U.S. data. There are students around the world doing mathematics at age 12 that we're not even touching in college. And so we have a huge opportunity. I don't think everybody throws it around the Wild West. It's still the Wild West. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great time. But find something that you're very passionate about. Don't follow the money, because the money's going to be there regardless. Be very passionate about it. So when we work with our students, it's some people are more linear minded and they want to get down to the bits and bytes and sit at a sock knock and find things out on systems, and that's what's going to fill their cup every day. That would make someone like me not want to go to work. That's not in my DNA. So from consulting, I would say pick a vertical, whether it's healthcare, Department of Defense, federal, because the business aspect of getting into those sectors, kind of like I told my buddy who I played football with in college when he became a financial planner, he called me up at age 32 and he goes, "Can I manage your finances?" I go, "Why would I let you manage my finances? You just started managing finances." So for me, it is understanding to break into an industry as a consultant. What are you asking them? You're asking them to trust you with the most intimate pieces of their business. And when it comes to cyber, that means everything. Every ounce of data you do day to day. And if you're going to expect that kind of trust, have the credentials behind you. So when we go to hire, I'm not knocking 4 degrees. That's the culture that we live in.
but certifications, continued training, and on-the-job training.
Woo!
Master that.
Woo!
Lead with that, and then you'll find organizations that want to give you that on-the-job training, and that will spawn you into
That's
that
right.
field.
That's right.
Right? Because if you try to do too much at one time,
Mhm.
we call those the dreamers, and I was one of those, right? We can do all this. You're going to lose opportunities because you'll be good at a lot, but not an expert at one. So I
That's
know
right.
that you've mentioned on numerous occasions getting your certifications, but we can talk after as well because I love the topic.
I will give some insight on, from my research, the CrowdStrike was a horrible PR move, meaning you went from a multi-billion-dollar organization to now everyone has doubt of what kind of company you are. That is the biggest risk. It's not a matter of technical terms, it's the perception and the value that people, when they hear that name, they instantly think there's a problem. And that's what I was referring to previously, is last Monday, CrowdStrike was an amazing, impeccable company. Today, they're on the verge of basically being insolvent and broken apart because of one error. The other thing that I've just heard in rumblings is the professional hackers and professional cyber criminals are using an incident and an event to their advantage by creating distractions and creating other ways to provide solutions. So if you go to a copycat CrowdStrike website or you receive an email, that's where they're able to victimize an event to their advantage, thinking that you are, as a business owner or as an IT manager or as someone coming with a solution, and if I download this solution to my CrowdStrike problem, that's going to make everything go away. That's not the case because these professional hackers are creating viruses and creating things and muddying the solution to where it's becoming very difficult, because now your phase 2.0 of this issue is who has the real answer that can solve my problem. And to get back to, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you'll hear me say repeatedly, how can I solve problems? And that's what we're talking about, being a specialist. And trust me, when it comes to cybersecurity, there's a lot more smarter people than I am. And I don't have to know all the answers as a business owner. I just have to know who to call. And I call Larry, and I call Joseph, and I call Reggie, and I call Eric, and I call everyone, that I need to. So I'll wrap up at that, but just know when it comes to business, you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to know how to solve problems.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, give him a round of applause. I know everybody has burning questions to ask everybody, but that concludes our time we have today. I just want to ask you to stay around just 5 minutes or so if anybody else has questions, and then we'll be on our way. I guess I'll give this back to Coach D. She can conclude us out. But we thank everybody for coming. Thank you we appreciate you guys.
Let's give Garrett a round of applause.
Awesome job. I tell you, you are a mighty leader. All right, thank you all once again to our panelists.
Each of you have a gift. Remember, Jeffrey?
And remember, Team 5, you get the bragging rights, remember? And so make sure you brag. So thank you once again. It is 1:30. We'll want to honor time. Larry Henderson, did we acknowledge you today? I'm going to be the first to give you a gift. Larry Henderson, let's give him a hand. He is with Cyber AB. And Larry, can you close us out? Because do they know what Healthcare Cyber AB do? We got some people in this house that need to know what you do. Wrap us up. You get your elevator pitch while we're still live streaming. I think they say sometimes
So I'm gonna wrap this up and everybody can leave, but I am co-chair of what is called Healthcare Cyber AB. And what that is if you're familiar with CMMC, it's Cyber AB in the healthcare industry. And we're an ecosystem that is generating.
Let me move it. I make people nervous.
No, what we do is qualify third-party auditors to go out and audit the health industry, hospital, doctor office, dentist. So we're just getting started. We're part of Duana's organization, and we're looking forward to dealing with people in the healthcare industry going forward. Thank you. And now that I wrap this up, we can run out of here.
Thank you. Drive safe. Don't forget to pray for our students, and they're the guests of the White House tomorrow. We'll be leaving for Arizona, and when we come back, they graduate right here in this room. So if y'all can't get enough of these students, we'll be back here on Friday at 11:30 as they graduate from their 8-week summer internship. Can we celebrate them? They all got at least 2 certifications. I heard the certification word earlier. Some have their Security Plus, their SC 900, CCP, working on their certified professionals. So we're excited. Thank you, Cap, once again. I understand there's some food left. So on your way out, grab a sandwich, network again, but we going home because we got part 2, more work for us to do. They still on the clock. So they got to earn some more money on this clock. No, I'm just kidding, but they're still on the clock. Bye-bye, everybody. Yes, take your gift. They're going to bring their gifts to